Hey everyone. My name is Dana. My pronouns are he, him. Tonight with the Gauntlet, we are playing Spencer Campbell's Slayers, and specifically Dust, as part of this run of Weird West games. That's all I have to do in this intro. So let's get an intro from our players and their characters in character keeper order, and then we'll jump into our second session. So, Rich, that's you.
All right. I am Rich. I use the he, him pronouns. I am playing Boyce Eberline, also a user of the he, him pronouns. He is an arcanist. He's a spellcaster who uses card magic. And that basically means he has cards he draws and empowers them to cast his various spells. That is Boyce.
Awesome. Michael.
Hi, I'm Michael. Pronouns are he, him. I'll be playing as Mallory Lewis, whose pronouns are she, her. Mallory is the Deadeye, so she has a rifle and functions sort of as a sniper, and has an alchemical eye for being able to find flaws in her prey that she can exploit.
Okay, great. And Brandon.
Hi, I'm Brandon. I'm playing Marielle Gomez. She who is a gunslinger, meaning a rapid fire gun artist, and who became a slayer when her husband was butchered by a monster. She acquired his gun, had it trained, and has had it marked with religious symbols. She maintains her very staunch Catholic religion and indeed calls her gun Santa Maria, who she views in some ways as the agent of her vengeance on the predators of this world. It is sometimes difficult to tell when she is speaking to her patron saint and when she is speaking to her firearm. She affects a stoic demeanor, but has a deeply caring heart within, and has a horse whose name is Rosa.
Excellent. So based on our successful hunt last week, every character improves. There's a list of 4 questions in the keeper to kind of consider and answer. So let's start with you, Rich, if that's all right for Boyce.
Sure.
Any one of those questions jump out at you as being worthy of Boyce's learnings?
Yeah, I took a glance at them when you pointed out the advancing of Slayer, and I am a little fuzzy on details. I apologize from our last hunt. I know that we went after Red Zack. Perhaps.
Well, does everybody want to say a little brief thing that happened last time, perhaps to reawaken memories?
Yeah.
I can try that.
Brandon, do you want to? We go in reverse order, and
sure.
You can call out something cool that happened. You're for Marielle.
Two things strike me in addition to the a number of little things that I remember, not in order. I remember being knocked off my horse by one of the predatory ghosts, and Mallory giving me the opportunity to get away and back into the fight. I remember speaking to Miss Harper and to Red Zack and trying to persuade them that this game was not worth the cat. In a very quiet voice, with the threat of deadly violence potentially about to erupt any any moment if things went a different way. And I remember giving Mallory a drink, an herbal tea to warm her, as she never quite seemed to recover from the chill that the predatory ghosts gave her. And I remember seeing her fear, I'm not sure, but quite pointedly making the reference to it.
Okay, awesome. Do you want to answer one of those questions for Marielle, if that sounds all right?
I think that I learned something about Mallory, but I'm going to say this with just, Michael, please modify this, because this is simply what Marielle thinks. I think Mallory is troubled by ghosts, in a way, not literal ones, like the ones we fought, but ghosts in her past, and that somehow these things that we went against triggered old bad memories. Michael, does that sound interesting?
Yeah, I definitely think that's fair to say.
So that's what
Okay, cool. And in terms of the mechanics of your advance,
I see the mechanics. I'll take care of it while other people are talking.
Okay, cool. So Michael, do you want to call out a few cool things or impactful things that happen on the hunt?
I think Brandon captured just about everything. We had some cool stuff fighting the ghosts where we tried to get them to fight each other, and I got chilled to my bones. But yeah, I think Brandon covered just about everything that I remember as being pretty significant. Looking over the questions, I guess I have a question about where we are, excuse me, where we are going to be picking up.
Yeah, so I was going to have you pick up in Dust Bowl, maybe, resting or recuperating or just hanging out in between hunts. Get a flavor of the town, get a flavor of what your slayers are like, off the job.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I think the question, would you have done things differently? I think Mallory is still questioning the decision not to shoot the wizard, Red Zack, yeah. And I think there is, there is the possibility that doing so would have gotten us all killed. But I think she's concerned, what it will mean to have left him alive.
Does this play into the ghosts that haunt Mallory's dreams or even her waking hours?
Yeah, I think so.
Do we think she left someone live when experience has told her that she should have killed them?
Yeah, I definitely like the idea of having spared somebody and having it had come back to bite her. So that there is this kind of guilt and also like survivor's guilt and kind of blame that she's carrying around.
Okay, cool. I think you're all set on the mechanical aspects of the advance.
Yes, I rolled very poorly for my health and then chose my advances.
Okay. Did you up another skill? Yeah.
I did, yeah. I went with tactics.
Okay, cool. Rich, anything jogging your memory now?
That was very helpful. Thank you. I apologize. What about this hunt will stick with you for quite some time? The Sentinels may very well be worse than the monsters we fight. That is what is going to stick with me for quite some time.
Is that because of their kind of self-appointed power, or is there something else that gives Boyce pause?
It's the realization of how their zealotry was used as a weapon against us. And I, Boyce, thought, had just put aside, okay, they capture the worst of the worst, but then Red Zack used them against us and may even have some allies among them. So that's terrifying to him.
Okay. And in terms of the advances, you get to.
I got a middling hit point increase.
Okay.
I increased my stealth for reasons that I don't think I rolled stealth during, but everything else that I have at D6, I think someone else is good at it. So I thought, well, maybe he's just a little bit more sneaky. And I think I'm going to take a step towards learning a new spell.
Okay. That's not a step. That's actually learning a new spell. It's just that there's two tick boxes, but because you couldn't take it twice.
I thought I see. Okay, cool. I've learned a new spell. It's Energy Bolt because I can't shoot a gun.
Finally.
For my advances, I also rolled a middling hit point increase. I chose to bump agile as it's just the vision of Marielle that I have. She's not. She's lithe, I think, and for my advance, I took prepared, which means that the first bullet that comes out of the gun when it's fully loaded is with advantage.
Awesome.
And this is just in line with her kind of religious view, the prayer she makes.
Yeah.
To Santa.
Okay, awesome. So, I think for a little bit of flavor, getting back into town, into Dust Bowl, I think Mervyn, let's call him a patron, maybe, is kind of holds court in this what passes for a hotel. So there's a room that he takes, or several rooms that he takes, a bar or a saloon that he can hang out to kind of hold court. Yeah, we could have a space for NPCs who are not monsters. It's a good point. In the monsters tab, though, I have put Red Zack, so you can take.
Fair enough. I saw him there, and that's what maybe. Hey, maybe we could we get monsters and NPCs.
Yeah, we can make that a monsters and NPCs. Monsters or not. Rich, do you have like an idea of what Mervyn looks like, or kind of what his like holding court demeanor is like?
I think I will steal the face claim of the bartender from Deadwood, whose name escapes me at the moment.
Swearingen?
Yes, Swearingen.
Yeah. Awesome. I mean, obviously, if you need ass-kicking, hard-nosed bastard. That is Al Swearingen to the core. And so is it, a mix of charm and just sheer bloody-mindedness then, if we're going for that?
That sounds fun. Charm and sheer bloody-mindedness, indeed. I've thrown that pick into a Mervyn entry that we have.
Oh, that is,
on,
that's Dan Doherty, his kind of henchman, right?
Oh, okay, sorry. All right, let me look for a Swearingen. There he is. Oh, right. It's yes, okay.
So long since I thought about that one. It's lovely.
Yeah, we've got Al Swearingen. I got a pick coming up right in a second. It's gonna make me think of American Gods, but that's okay.
Coincidence? I think not. Awesome. Okay. Yeah, so I think we'll come back to Mervyn in a little while. When you kind of returned Gabrielle Harper here, who was most pleased to see her return, see her safe return? Let's leave that question with you, Rich.
Did we establish if she had any family in the town?
I think we had established that she had kind of come here from like a poor farming hold, but I don't think we had mentioned like that she had left family behind or had family here. I think we kind of left that a little bit open.
So we could slide that in. I think.
Yeah.
I think a worried father, is excited to have her home and surprised after all they heard.
And what's his role in town? What does he do for a living?
I think he's a cooper. He makes barrels.
Okay, awesome. And do you think he is kind of in hock to Mervyn, or is he just like a soul trader?
In hock. Yeah, I think in hock. Sounds delightful. Maybe not that delightful, but yeah.
Awesome. Michael, there's someone here, maybe someone who's part of Mervyn's crew, who probably gives you no reason to like them, but you're pretty sure, when you stroll into the saloon, that this person has kind of bet against your safe return. They pretty much wrote you off. Who is that person, and what's your kind of general beef with them?
Ooh. Hold please while I check our safety sheet just to be safe. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I was thinking of like a madam who is kind of the mindset that this whole thing that we do as slayers is unbecoming for Marielle and myself. And we will say her name is Viola.
And she just like doesn't think you should be engaged in this kind of nonsense, or she has like tried to recruit you because
Yeah,
why
I
not?
think she's probably tried to recruit us, and there is this kind of this kind of inherent sexism that we're doing men's work.
Okay.
I'm with them.
Okay, cool. And Brandon, I think Mervyn is maybe busy with something else right now, so maybe he doesn't give you the attention he ought to. Like what signs do you see that one of his schemes or one of his kind of routines has been thrown out of whack?
You mean something that he's involved in is not going well?
Yeah, exactly.
So he almost certainly has he has a bodyguard. And as Marielle is passing by, he is in his back office off the bar, and she overhears not really the details of, but certainly the presence of a ferocious argument where he is just screaming at his henchman. I don't care what you think, you're going to, go and get it, go and get it done. And clearly, something is wrong. That some plan went awry, and he is very, very unhappy about it.
Do you have any tempting ideas about what that plan is, or will we come up with it later?
I think he's, let's say, I think he's basically, he's hired a group of regulators, as they are sometimes called, which is to say, gunmen or toughs who are trying to push people off of the land that they have, so it can be bought up cheaply, threatened into selling out, or if necessary, just harassed, if necessary, shot, in order to force a land sale. This is if there's I don't know what the main commerce in town, but let's be prosaic and say that they're considering extending a rail line into Dust, but that's many of the approaches to the town are not good for laying track. It'd be too expensive, too much grading, or go over swampy land, or have to bridge large streams. And the people who are in the way of the best approach don't desire to sell, because this is land they've homesteaded, and they've established themselves. They'll be damned, they're unwilling to take the buyout. And so the railroad has approached Mervyn to basically say, here's some money, hire the people you need in order to solve this problem for us, and we'll make you rich.
Okay.
It would also, it also bring him a lot more business and such like that.
Do we have a name for the bodyguard?
I'm just going to call him Big John. His last name probably doesn't enter into it. He's about 6'4", built heavy, and is a bully. He smiles. He smiles a lot, but it's the smile of a predator. He's not stupid, but he's not the most imaginative person either. He tends to resolve disputes with his fists.
Rich, what do you think Big John's objection to this kind of quite normal, terrible scheme is?
I think that the most recent person that Mervin's or family that Mervin's sicked him on is run by a woman, a widow, and she reminds him of his ma. That's
Okay.
just a line he won't cross.
So like a little nugget of decent human being does lie within Big John.
At least when it comes to somebody looking like his mom.
Yeah. Okay, awesome. So
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, it makes perfect sense. I don't picture Big John's not a killer for hire. You know, he's fine with roughing people up and pushing people around. But you know, this woman's completely dug in her heels, and he's just not willing to just go shoot her.
So do you all hang out when you're in town? Do you do your own things? What does like a day in the life of a Slayer look like?
Well, if Mallory and Marielle come over to the saloon, play a game of poker or two, I'd love to hang out with them. Especially if they'll let me deal them in. Especially then.
As long as we play for low stakes.
Of course.
And the whiskey keeps flowing.
You seem to win more than chance would account for.
Oh, this is not just a game of chance. I keep telling you, there's a goodly amount of skill involved in a simple game of cards.
I'll certainly be interested in doing that. I would also want to visit the chapel.
So yeah, I guess there's probably another few people who sit down or who are perennially playing poker at this place. The same $10 moving around the table, maybe day on day. It's indie gaming, folks. So yeah, like, what's the table chatter like? Is it professional or anything but? Mallory.
I think Mallory is probably mostly doing her normal thing of keeping to herself, drinking, paying attention to the cards, kind of eyeballing other people around just to, kind of size them up in case there's trouble. But I don't think she feels particularly at ease.
And I have to imagine Boyce is a bit of a, I mean, I wouldn't like to say card shark, but is he just can't help himself? What do you think?
He cannot help himself. Not at all. Not at all. Sometimes he'll throw a game, just to keep things interesting.
Mallory would be 100% on board with being the inside woman if Boyce wanted to start trying to shark people.
Oh, really? How did she express that to him?
I think she's probably just like, if you ever wanted to make some cash on the side. I feel like we could take this show on the road.
All right. That is a good note, Mallory. And maybe he's working on a little side game with Mallory as we're playing. Like, here's this tell and here's that tell. And occasionally we'll go out back for a smoke. And that's where he asks Mallory what she's seen. And they trade notes. Yeah, I like that.
I'm happy for this to be a couple of rolls. What do you think?
Ooh, fun.
My thoughts right now, this seems like maybe Mallory is studying. And
That's how Boyce gets by.
Boyce might be deceiving if this is, a bit of underhandedness on the cards.
All right. Reminder, we roll straight up the die that we're.
Yeah, exactly. And you're looking for a 4+.
Oof.
What I would say is let's see what Mallory's roll is first, because
All right.
if it's good, I think I might give you advantage.
Okay, so study, so D8, here we go. Nope, I got a 3.
This is playing cards.
He's playing cards, yeah.
Just playing cards.
Well.
Yeah, so like I think someone at the table notices you, Mallory, and maybe doesn't leap entirely to the wrong kind of conclusion, but is hella suspicious.
Yeah, that's reasonable.
Who do we think this is, or is this someone like looking at the card play from the bar? Someone who is not involved. This could be Viola, right, or someone who has, is paying careful attention to Mallory.
Yeah, I feel like Viola would definitely make a thing of it. Yeah, let's go with it being her and see what happens.
Okay. So Rich, you're just going to make a flat single die roll on fleecing this poor card player without any helpful tips from Mallory.
Oh my goodness, what is up with us tonight? 50-50 shot and we blew it both times.
Yeah.
There's a 3.
Better than 50-50 on a 4+ on a D8. So yeah, I think maybe Mallory gives you a signal, but you take it up the wrong way and you go all in when you think someone has got a poor hand and they have the nuts, right? How much do they take you for?
I think they take me for several dollars.
Wow. It's a lot of money.
I could refill my whiskey cabinet with what I just lost, I think.
Yeah.
I will be sitting up with Viola and having a drink at the bar watching.
Okay, cool.
Marielle, unless this is a check your weapons at the front establishment.
I don't know. What do you think? Is this a is there a sheriff in town, maybe in Mervin's pocket, who makes sure that the only people armed are people who work for him and Mervin, or is this a all guns blazing, literally Wild West kind of setup?
I don't know what's the most interesting.
I like Wild West personally, but
I think Wild West. I don't think this town rates a sheriff yet. Sometimes there's a visit from a U.S. Marshal, and that comes from the county seat. when some heinous crime's been reported, but otherwise the citizens take things into their own hands. And in fact, Mervin's probably been kind of he's kind of the de facto law to a degree, because he can, marshal up a posse of toughs fairly readily. When Marielle's drinking at the bar, her 6-gun is on the bar in front of her.
Rich, I'm just thinking, are you due for, is it time for you to make your run?
Yeah, I gotta go.
Okay.
Sorry.
Gotta make your move.
Make your move, yeah, okay. Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, so Marielle actually puts her gun on the bar. She does not keep it holstered. I mean, she doesn't take it out in a threatening manner.
Okay.
She just pulls it out by the barrel and lays it on the bar and asks for whiskey.
Yeah, so I think maybe Viola doubles behind bar, right? At least when things are slow.
Mm-hmm.
So things went well for you out there?
A few things that should not have been walking are returned to the earth, and Miss Harper is back with her father. So I would say yes. Before she has the drink, she pulls out her rosary and she says a brief prayer, and she puts it away, takes a sip.
You praying for those souls you sent to hell?
Those are gone, the things we encountered. I do pray for the people that died, but none of the foes that we met here and dispatched were people. And the one that we did meet and who did not kill is too far gone for my prayers to reach. Although he saw the wisdom of releasing Miss Harper rather than forcing the issue.
Well,
Everything
that's Red
is-
Zack for you.
things
He
are
plays
quiet here.
his.
You know of him.
Oh yeah. Can't draw breath and dust without knowing Red Zack.
He is a terrible man and will meet a terrible end. But yesterday was not the time for that.
And I think she kind of nods behind you over to the table where Mallory is. See, your friends are not half as conscientious as you are.
It is Mr. Epperline is not an honest man, but he is fighting on the right side. And Miss Lewis is troubled. I am no saint, and I do not presume to judge them.
I mean, you are pretty quick to judge Red Zack.
He has declared himself he uses monstrous things, and he kidnapped a young woman to use in some devilish ritual. I don't think I will not be the one ultimately to judge him. And she looks up, glances up towards the ceiling. But it is, she says there are no saints in this business. At least no, none that talk and breathe. She says, patting her gun.
I think Viola like runs a finger, not touching the gun, but like along the kind of stained wood where just alongside the gun, and says, I've heard you whisper your prayers to that thing. Don't tell me you're no gun saint.
I am. I became part of this business out of a burning desire for vengeance. That is not, I may be I hope I am a sword for him, but my spirit is not clean. If I find salvation, it will be by his grace, not by my own actions. I strive to do his will, but ultimately the responsibility is mine. You want to see it?
What? How do you mean?
You're interested in my gun.
I mean, I just hear you saying you're not like holy or with the Lord, but you act like it to me.
I do everything I can, but I don't believe myself to be any better than anyone else. I'm a flaming sword. Nothing more or less. And one day, perhaps this flame in my heart will abate, and I can lay my burden down.
Okay, so the back of the table, the lucky man who's just taken all of your money, or at least most of Boyce's, maybe a little bit of Mallory's too, sweeps his winnings, his silver dollars, whatever, into a purse, and heads to the bar. I think he claps Mallory on the back, kind of in a fake sympathetic manner, right? That grates a little bit, I imagine Mallory is not. Is she a good loser, or does she hate it?
Yeah, I think she's definitely pretty irritated, and the slap on the back certainly doesn't help. I was trying to decide if she's going to cause trouble over it. I would be curious how Boyce is taking to the loss, because I think if he's like relaxed and like, oh, you win some, you lose some, I think she'll calm down. But like, if he's annoyed or at all makes it seem like her problem, then she's going to react to it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to speak for Rich while he's not here, but I can imagine that, if if he took Mallory's signal the wrong way, he might be looking hard across the table at her like, what was that, right? That seemed kind of reasonable to me.
Yeah, I would agree. Yeah, how bad is this gonna go? Because I am not equipped to get into a bar fight, but I think I'm gonna get into a bar fight.
Um,
So I'm kind of thinking that Mallory's idea on how to make this right is to get into a fight with the guy so that Boyce can steal the money back during the scuffle.
okay. So I think what we might do in that case, given that we're dragging Boyce into a into a fight, is to take a break now, and maybe back at 5 past, and then Rich will be able to join in. Yeah.
Sounds great.
Okay, so we're back, and I think we're about to see Mallory start something. What does this look like, Michael?
So I think that I'm gonna stroll up to the guy who just got the money from us at the bar and be like, hey, buy a lady a drink.
He looks over at you and he kind of, lets his winnings jingle in his purse. And I think Viola has just like brought over a bottle of whiskey because, she certainly wants him to buy some drink and push some of this money back into this fine, upstanding business.
I'll say, yes, you should toast your good fortune. It's good to appease the Lady Luck when she smiles upon you.
And I mean, I think maybe this guy might give you reason to think he's an asshole, right? So I think instead of buying you a whiskey, he like asks Viola to pour you a beer, right? Which is cheaper and just not the right aesthetic, right?
Kind of girl do you think I am? Did Viola leave the whiskey bottle nearby?
It's sitting by my glass, but this is the one I'm paying for. Would you like some?
I mean, you're wondering if she is canny enough to want her half full bottle to be used in a bar fight.
Basically.
Yeah. What do you think? Like, does she kind of leave it unattended, like for just a second too long, or does she not notice this kind of undercurrent of violent intent?
I think she probably doesn't notice the violent intent. From an outsider, what I'm about to do is going to seem really unprompted.
Yeah. But also, I mean, like, obviously, like, she's worldly enough, but she still has this idea of what maybe ladies should be like. So
yeah, exactly.
I think that fits. Yeah.
Here I am being a disappointment all over
Marielle
again.
inches her stool back like an inch. just the merest enough so that she doesn't, so that nobody slams into her. Just this tiny little scoot back seems unprompted by anything.
Yeah. What's Boyce up to at this point in time?
I think Boyce was trying to score up another game and was a little curious when Mallory disappeared, but now I'm now he's sniffing out that there might be some trouble. So maybe I do need to get a drink, fellas. So I'll just we'll have that game in just a little bit. So he's starting to make his way over slow, more like not going to interrupt in this, but back up.
Okay.
He's got a new deck of cards that he's just kind of rubbing on and rubbing a corner off of one of the aces, of course.
Yeah. Michael, do you think this kind of sneaky setup would require like tactics to kind of catch your opponent by surprise, or you think this is just straight up brawn? Is this?
Oh yeah, I was thinking more brawn or even agile for it being a quick thing.
Yeah, let's make it brawn. You're smacking this guy over the head with a whiskey bottle.
Yeah, like you do.
Like you do.
As was the style at the time. Okay, so that's just a D6.
Just a D6, yeah.
Man, I wish I were better at rolling dice. See what happens. With a bottle. 3 again.
Another 3. That's
Man.
that's pretty
Roll
cool.
threes.
We've rolled like 4 3s in a row.
So many threes.
So
With different dice.
with the,
Different
Yeah.
dice, we keep rolling 3s.
3 is the cruelest number.
3 is the cruelest number. Yeah, so so I think if it sounds all right to you, this is not like it's not like you can't hit a guy with a bottle when he's just standing there right next to you. I think you kind of heft it, and the whiskey sloshes around a little bit, and you kind of need to take another swing because it's not a weapon, it's just kind of something you picked up. And I think Viola's hand snakes out to grab it, right? And you kind of, make your swing just when she does that, and you're kind of just thrown off by it enough. And she is pissed off, right? Were you going to pay the $5 out of your own purse for that half a bottle of whiskey, right? She's not worried about the guy at all. It's like, how dare you, waste whiskey on this premises? And I think she kicks you out, right? She says, out you get. Come back tomorrow when you've like recouped your losses somewhere else. And I think it's not just Mallory, it's like, she gives maybe Marielle a regretful look, and then she just says, like, points over at Boyce to say, you too, hotshot. Take your cards and get out of here.
We'll be back tomorrow.
Mallory spits on the floor.
I mean,
And now maybe move up and do the like, hey, Mallory, hey, let's move on. Let's go cool our heads. Come on.
Once we've moved away from the bar and outside, Marielle will say to Mallory, what was that? Did he cheat? I wasn't paying close attention.
Friendly game of cards.
No, he didn't cheat.
Then what? Do you know him? What's going on?
Never met him before.
You I think it's good if you use that anger against things that deserve it. But that's just my opinion.
What would you consider deserving?
Creatures we fought yesterday. Red Zack.
Surely would like to take out some of my anger on Red Zack.
I'm certain that he has not. I understand there's also trouble in and around the town. That local landowners are being encouraged to sell at the point of a gun. Less monstrous, but still more deserving of your ire.
Being forced to sell for what?
I don't know. The business wants their land. There's money to be made. If I had to guess, I would say it's the railroad. They've come. They've already said they're building as far as Joshua's Gulch. And they dare say there are people who would want them to come here. Certainly those who are trying to develop the local silver mine would want to do so. But I don't really understand these things. My husband used to talk of it. Say, they picked a farm site away, far enough away from town that nobody would want it too much. And so we wouldn't be bothered. But some of these people have put down their claim to their land before Dust really was the town. And I dare say they are perhaps reluctant to relinquish it even under dire threat. But the men with the guns will have their way sooner or later. That is usually how it goes.
Yeah, not a lot can be done to stop the coming progress.
Progress is one thing. Violence is another. The first is perhaps inevitable. The second remains to be seen.
Boyce, while Marielle and Mallory are talking, you see, I guess, a familiar figure ride into town, one Father Rodrigo, and he looks bloodied and beaten.
Marielle, looks like a good friend. Got hurt.
Lord preserve us all. I will run over to him. Father, what happened?
And he looks
Are you
up.
well? Let me help you down.
He looks up in a daze, and I think, yeah, he's maybe losing blood.
Come down from there. Come down from there and
16.
Sit in the shade and let me look at that wound. Boys, will you, Mallory, will you take his horse?
Yeah, Mallory grabs the horse so it doesn't take off.
And the horse is, pretty winded, sweating, needs water.
Pull him into the nearest shady spot. Give him a drink of water from my canteen and look at his injuries.
Yeah. Do you wanna make a mend check?
Sure.
And let's
See how bad he is.
How bad he is.
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, I think on his arm you can see this kind of raking, like as if a claw made it. And there's a sign of kind of a nip, like a chunk taken out of his leg. He'll probably limp on that knee for the rest of his life. What about this kind of reminds you vividly of the kind of wounds you found on your husband after the wolfen killed him?
Wolfen wounds are very characteristic. They bite and tear, but they have jaws that are like no wild animal. It's almost a mix between human bite marks and it's like human bite marks with if their teeth were sharp, ripping teeth instead of the teeth that we normal people have. There are wolfen around. Father, where were you attacked? I say, well, I'm wrapping bandage around his wounds to stop the bleeding.
Well, my child, I was visiting the Ketterlings. They've been under terrible pressure recently to sell their land. And we were praying together last night when this fierce howl came through. I ran for my life. Forgive me, but I couldn't withstand its fury.
Are they dead? The Ketterlings?
I'm not sure. I know some were slain, but I prayed all the way here that some found refuge in the cellar or somewhere.
How on earth there haven't been wolfen in this area for quite some time? Boys, have you heard rumors of wolfen in this area? I thought they had all been cleared out of here. And yet a farmstead has been attacked. We have to go. We must go look.
Yeah, let's go. Let's go now.
How much are wolfen a known thing in this world?
I mean, I think obviously they've been around before, but maybe few and far between. From knowing kind of, I guess there's going to be some things about folklore and maybe some of it hits and some of it misses. I mean, what do you think you've heard? Or let's actually start with Marielle. Like, what do you know about wolfen that will definitely help you?
Well, wolfen were originally wolves, and while they have ferocity and strength that far surpasses any wolf, and they gain a little cunning, they are still essentially wild things. They react rather than plan. And so sometimes we can, if we're careful, if we are careful, we can take them by surprise and force them into situations where they have a disadvantage. But we must never underestimate their speed and strength, which is terrifying.
Okay. So Mallory, like, what have you heard that you give weight to from other slayers or other tales of Wolfen?
I'm trying to decide if that's what I was asking. I'm trying to figure out if Mallory even believes they exist.
I mean, I guess Marielle, has Marielle made any secret of her history with Wolfen?
I have not, but I've never spoken about it in any detail either. You know, how did you become a slayer? Wolfen killed my husband. Change the subject.
So if Mallory is being,
maybe Mallory might think that she's mistaken, that, you know, that it must have been something else.
Yeah, could have just been normal wolves.
so is there any kind of tale that people tell of Wolfen that is obviously just their fear and superstition?
Yeah, I would say that the going off of what Marielle said about like their strength and speed, I imagine that people describe them as being a lot larger than wolves typically are. You know, just these kind of large hulking masses. And you know, obviously Mallory's like, I'm sure they're exaggerating.
Awesome. How about you, Boyce? What you know, with your kind of magical training, have you ever crossed paths with Wolfen before?
Oh hell yeah! I've faced and run from many a wolf in there. Nasty figures. I can't say that I'm an expert on what makes somebody turn, but yeah, they say that only the wicked become wolfen, but I don't believe that part. I think it's more like a disease.
Okay. And what do you think Golden Gwangi always told you to keep close for those encounters? What was her kind of advice about dealing with Wolfen?
She told us, both me and Zach and anyone else that would listen, that you've got to find wolfsbane and always have some handy. Weaken them, cause them to lose a bit of their appetite. Never used wolfsbane on a wolf and never had the opportunity, but I believe it.
Okay, awesome. So I'm going to update the ongoing effect that our ability that Wolfen have, to say any attack against a Wolfen without Wolfsbane will only do 1 damage maximum.
What?
So
turns out wolfsbane's very easy to find there.
Well, this is what I was going to say, right? So like that the bearer of the weapon, right, must have Wolfsbane, or there must be Wolfsbane on the weapon, and this just
it's kind of cool.
Supercharges it, right? So you'll need to maybe take a detour on the way out to the Ketterlings to collect some Wolfsbane from a forest, or some kind of gulch or whatever. Unless you think that this is like advice that has stayed with you so much that you kind of have a pack in your pouch, right? What do you think, Rich?
I'm okay with it if you don't mind him having a pack of it. Maybe it's like wrapped in some cigarette papers or something like that.
Yeah. You were saving it for some nice stew, but on account of this wolfen activity, maybe we'll break it out.
Yeah, I think I'll break it up, give a bit to Marielle and a bit to Mallory, but maybe there isn't enough for long. We ought to pick up some more wolfsbane before we head up to the Ketterlings.
Okay, cool.
This explains why Shady One didn't kill them. I swear my husband emptied his rifle into one of them and didn't die.
So what's Mallory's reaction to this kind of obvious knowledge or belief about a wolfen?
I think that that Mallory has come to have expectations about how Marielle will react to things, just by nature of her being more religious. But I think she's genuinely surprised that that Boyce not only also believes in this, but actually like is prepared for it. Because he just seems very pragmatic. And she just kind of gives him a look like, really? You too?
Okay.
They're
Anything
just
that
wolves, right?
Maybe. No,
it
they're
can't.
not.
It cannot hurt. I am unfamiliar with the, or perhaps you know where we can find it.
Okay, so so I guess you've bandaged up Father Rodrigo to good effect, and he will definitely pull through. Maybe you press a little bit of the wolfsbane kind of as a poultice into those wounds to help heal them. I guess you're riding out to the Ketterling. So they, if you look at the map, you will see I've added a couple of extra locations to the southwest of Duthville, including a railway and the Ketterlings, and some bonus caverns. Which, how does this sound? So on the way there, you can check for, you can like keep a hunt out for some extra wolfsbane. I think that is probably what's the good skill for that? The hunt, monster knowledge, hunting, tracking, or maybe study if it's something you've done before. I don't mind. What I might suggest is that one way or the other you're going to find enough wolfsbane to get you through the hunt. But if you roll a miss, you're going to take longer to find it, and that might mean that there'll be less Ketterlings when you get there than there would otherwise be. Does that sound okay? Or do you want to like take your chances to kind of press on and say on a miss we're just going without the wolfsbane?
Boyce does not want to go up against a bunch of wolfen without the weapon that hurts them. But I think Marielle, I don't know, how does Marielle feel about that?
As I mentioned, I saw how difficult they were to kill.
All
Feel
right.
reasonably confident
And
in my ability to
is
find
before-
her.
This is before I really knew how to use a gun. But even so, if you can recognize the plant, then let's try to find something. And but I do not want to tarry too long. So I'm good with you rolling a steady to try and find it, because that seems to make sense.
Okay.
Okay.
I am happy to study. Let me see if I can roll a 3 on a D10, guys.
Yep.
I mean, I'm sure it's possible, but
The ideal.
It's an 8.
No, you
Woo!
failed.
there you go.
It's kind of like 2 3s put
I
together.
blew it. Yeah, it's like 2 3s and a 2. There we go. Everything base 3 is all of our math is base 3 for this game now. Sorry.
Okay. So, where does Boyce find wolfsbane? Where does it grow in this kind of desert scrubland?
I think that it grows on the sides of like cliffs in the butte on our way. So there's a little bit of climbing involved. A little bit of let's go slow us down.
So yeah, I think we see like Boyce doing a very un-Boyce-like, in his dandy little waistcoat, right? Climbing up the side of this kind of sheer rock to stick a hand into a fissure, maybe like batting aside a scorpion or whatever it is in there to fish out the wolfsbane.
And it looks pretty. It's like a purple flower. It's
Yeah.
also known as monk's hood. Leopard's bane, mouse bane, acontium, I believe is what the scientists call it. It'll do the trick though.
Mallory's just standing to the side smoking, like, I can't believe we stopped to pick flowers.
Yeah, so
It
like
comes up, one for you, Marielle, one for you, Mallory. 3 or 4 for me.
So like how does this look on kind of in terms of like the bearer having wolfsbane? How does Boyce kind of carry this?
That's a good question. I honestly think he puts a bit of it in the stem of his hat, the band.
Yeah.
Marielle tucks it into her hair just above her right ear, almost as if it were, and it looks kind of like a woman just like tucking a flower into her hair. And you can see for a moment, perhaps that under other circumstances, and Marielle might have been a very lovely woman. But time and trial has taken its toll.
And what does Mallory do when Boyce hands her a sprig of wolfsbane?
She smells it a bit, thinks about how there weren't any hesitations about kind of putting it into the priest's wounds, and kind of puts it in her mouth to chew on as they go, like like straw or hay.
Okay, awesome. So let's bring you folk to the Ketterlings. So yeah, I think it's like a fairly lonely farm, maybe relatively well-to-do, so a decent farmhouse, a decent barn, like a fairly well-maintained perimeter fence, But definitely, blood is in the air, right? You smell that coppery scent of blood, and not quite like slaughterhouse or anything like that powerful, but it just feels really strange out here. I think you see first kind of the oldest daughter, who is like sitting with her back to one of the wheels of their wagon. A gun is like a musket maybe is on the ground in front of her, and her throat is torn out. And she's been dead for probably since the previous night. What do you do, Boyce, when you kind of come across this scene?
I'll head up and cautiously approach Wolfsbane, pull it out of the band, touch it to the wound, see if it's going to jump up and try to eat me.
Yeah, there's no sign of life, no jump scare. Yeah, no sign that anyone has been here since she died either. Like no one has, like her eyes are open, maybe the kind of in a definitely dead and definitely died alone kind of way.
Reach up and gently put my hand on her forehead and slowly roll down to close her eyes. It's been a couple days, friends.
Santa Maria, watch over your soul. Let's see if there's a cellar.
All right.
So I wonder if this is a good time to... Is this like study, like reading a scene, or is this like tactics, being kind of careful, or are you kind of trying to sneak up on
This
whatever
is stealth. This is stealth.
Okay.
I don't believe that these things are gone. They may be asleep or simply lying in wait. And the air here stinks so badly, I don't think we could tell by catching their scent on the wind. So I'm going to try and make my way quiet, and I have my gun in my hand.
Yeah, so why don't we let you make that stealth check? To get up to the house and the basement, unseen, unheard.
Sorry. 9.
Wow. Nice.
Yeah. So is this like a
Marielle is capable of moving absolutely silently when she puts her mind to it.
Is this like those kind of external storm doors that head down into the basement, or is there like a trap door inside the house proper that goes into the basement?
I think it's got. I think it would have an external thing. It's not like it's. Well, actually, let me think. No, it's a root cellar. This is not an area that gets, tornadoes or anything like that. There's no reason for a storm cellar.
Okay.
So it's basically it's for storage, to keep things so that they don't spoil in the heat. So it'd be inside in the kitchen.
Yeah, I think like silent as a ghost, right? Like those creaky floorboards have nothing on Marielle, right? They are not even whispering a creak. And inside the house, I think you find like maybe an older uncle or a grandfather of the Ketterlings, kind of with a bloody dragging marks like from the kitchen all the way out to the front door. And I think there's signs that when you kind of go to where he was taken from, maybe he had his hand on the handle of the trapdoor or whatever just when he was taken. And I think you can kind of see maybe he was holding on to this kind of knotted rope that opens it, and like that just tore. He was holding on so tight, and the wolfen was dragging him so hard that it tore out the rope from the hole that opens it.
There's nothing here right now.
There's nothing here. Or maybe for stealth 9, maybe you're so silent that you do get a sense of where the wolfen is. That makes sense. It's a good roll. 9 is a good roll. So yeah, I think you maybe just as you kneel beside the trapdoor to kind of maybe discern if there's someone inside or if there's a way to open the trapdoor, you can kind of hear something upstairs, something kind of slowly padding around upstairs in a bedroom or something. And it's big, right? But it's also the kind of thing that is, pretty stealthy. So yeah, I think.
Yeah, so I quietly point. And I cock my gun and whisper a prayer. Santa Maria guide my hand.
So what do you think? Like you're probably all in the house now. Is that right, Boyce and Mallory? Or are you kind of staying away to get a kind of keep range, or what's your tactic here?
My range is my cards, so I've gone inside.
Okay.
Yeah, and I am much less useful inside, but I figure we probably want to stick together.
Okay, cool. So, what do we, so you're I guess kind of gathering in the kitchen area thereabouts. That this beast is upstairs, maybe starting to wake up from a slumber or something like that, but not aware of your presence at least. And you have access to the trapdoor. You don't know if there's anyone down there. Mallory, what are you going to do?
Mallory's gonna, have her rifle drawn, but kind of look towards the other two because there's just not a lot of room for her to maneuver in here.
How about Boyce?
Yeah, looks like I nod and start making my way up the stairs. I'll be the lead. Seems like a terrible idea. I muttered to myself quietly.
Yeah, and Marielle?
Well, Mario was going to cancel having it come to us, but since Weiss has started to make his way up the stairs, she's with him.
Oh, Mario could definitely put a hand on
Okay,
his
I'll
arm
put
and
a
say,
I'll put a
"Please
gentle
don't-"
hand. I'll put a gentle hand on Weiss and say, and I'll make motions like, help me tip this table over. Here.
I do that and I whisper, you know, acts of bravado don't suit me anyway.
If we go up there, it will be on top of us before we can speak, unless, and I don't count ourselves so lucky as to take it by surprise. Let's get ready here and then make a sound. It'll come down if they're anything like the stories.
Okay, so how about we get a tactics roll to kind of set up this ambush that might give you advantage in the first round.
Certainly, I'll defer to Mallory.
Yeah, that's a thing that I have. D8. Yeah, so I think we tip over a table. Yes, I got a 6. Oh, and I need to change the name of the actual
Bar fight with a
it looks
bottle.
yeah. Definitely gonna crack that wolf with a bottle of whiskey. Yeah, so I think kind of pulling down the table, trying to set up a bit of a way to kind of funnel it where it's coming towards us, and it won't have a lot of room to maneuver, so we can get into this kind of choke point.
Okay, cool. So yeah, what do you given that you've rolled the tactics roll, like how do you envisage this encounter opening? Like how does the wolfen get down into your killing zone?
I think we've set up in such a way that it has to kind of come all the way down the stairs and be off of the stairs, maybe a couple more steps forward before it becomes clear that there's a problem. So yeah, I imagine it, bounding down towards the kitchen, maybe thinking that something under the trap door is moving or something like that. And then I imagine we're just kind of like all kind of poking up from behind this table, just ready to unload into this thing.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah, we'll just take a pot and knock it off the stove. So it makes a clatter.
So let's say so set advantage for the first round. I guess that is your speed roll and then your kind of attack roll, right, for the first round, and then things are kind of evening out. So yeah, now I'll tell you the wolfen's speed is 7, so it'll be a challenge to beat that, advantage or not.
Am I the only one that maybe can?
Yes. Yeah, with your D8.
Oh goodness.
So I guess make your roll anyway. I guess it doesn't really make that much difference for Weiss and Marielle.
No.
So I guess I'm happy to have you like not roll and then just negotiate who goes first amongst the two of you. If that sounds fair.
I will say it does make a difference in that if Marielle rolls a 6, you said the creature has a 7, so I might still be able to do something with that with my quick action.
Okay, yeah, that's true. With your speed nerf. So yeah, I guess Brandon, you should still roll with advantage. So that's 2d6. Take the best one.
Oh my god.
That's 3, I'm afraid.
Wait, did my roll not go through?
I did not see one for you.
I don't see a roll for you.
That was weird. Maybe we hit it at exactly the same time.
Shouldn't matter.
Yeah, bar fight with a bottle is the last.
Yeah.
Hey,
I got
an 8.
Okay,
got
there's
the
your
eight.
8. Nice. So yeah, this I mean, in the moment before it sees you, I think you get your shot, right?
Get a
This
shot,
is
yeah.
this is like up close and personal. It's, I guess, near, right? Across the room is the furthest away you get in this kind of space.
Yes.
And the description out of the book is just so lovely, which is what made me pick that gruesome picture for it. Wolves that eat the meat of a cursed man take on that curse. Their bones bend and break, and they become a mass of teeth and muscle with an insatiable appetite. So yeah, this thing that barely looks like a wolf, this kind of shambling shape of wolfiness, comes down the stairs and stares at you with its eyes that are in the wrong place. And like, do you think there's like a moment where, Mallory reacts to like the truth of this that is right in front of her eyes before she pulls that trigger?
I don't think in a way that is visible to anyone else. I think all everyone else sees is she kind of narrow her eyes and pulls the trigger. But there is that kind of like, oh shit, like look for a quarter of a second.
Yeah. And you maybe you give that wolfsbane an extra chew, right?
Yeah, right.
Okay, so yeah, roll your. I guess, sorry, not roll your. You like get to do all your actions, so you can analyze, or do a crack shot first, and then.
Yeah, I'm gonna shoot it first. Do we have initiative on the first attack too?
You have advantage, yeah, on the first attack.
I'm sorry, that's what I meant. Yeah.
Sorry, on all your rolls this turn.
Okay, perfect.
Because of your ambush.
Let's see how that goes. 5. So I'll take that. So that's 3 damage to him, and because of the new advance that I took at the start of his turn, he'll take another damage as like bleed or something.
Yeah, that is. Well, this is the slow way, so I don't know if this is like like just the force of the blow makes him bleed heavy, or whether it's something else. Awesome.
And I guess I'll try and study to learn about them. Let's go ahead and learn where it says their actions. Does that mean how many or what any of them specifically are?
Yeah, I mean what they do, right? So I think you're about to see one of them, so I'll give you that one for free when I explain it. But yeah, I think the other action, which you're not going to see quite yet, is their bite. And I think, like we talked about earlier, their bite is really ferocious.
Okay.
So that's a 2d6 attack in engaged range and 1 damage per hit. So basically you get 2 attacks for that 1 attack.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. But the one I'm gonna pull right now is Pounce.
I don't love that.
Which has a range of near. And target Slayer makes a brawn roll or is pinned under the wolfen, and while pinned, they can take no actions other than try to escape. So I think you've again, by shooting first, you've raised the ire of this wolfen, Maui. So I will make that attack against you.
Okay, so I have to roll a brawn?
So I've got to roll to hit first.
Okay.
So you don't need to do anything yet. A 4 it is, yeah. So this, just this like insanely powerful leap just kind of comes through the kitchen door, I think ripping the kind of door jamb off the wall as it comes through, and just like maybe slams into the table and onto you. So yeah, make a brawn check to avoid being pinned.
Very cool. I did actually.
Okay, what does that look like?
Yeah, I think that you know, as Mallory was kind of studying it in the seconds between the shot and its action, kind of you know, foresaw what it was about to do as it kind of like rears back to jump, and you know, kind of rolls out of the way as it smashes into the table.
Okay, cool. So Marielle, do you want to go?
Yes.
Go next?
So I'm going to scramble away if necessary to get range, and I'm gonna empty.
Okay.
I'm gonna,
So yeah, I guess your first action then is to move.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, since it's too close.
Yeah, and second action will be to let rip.
To let fire.
So yeah, uncheck your chambers.
Yep.
For what you're
I
shooting,
will.
and then
I
roll
will.
the requisite amount of
Okay.
d6s.
Yeah, I'm putting the d6s in pairs since they have advantage. So. Okay.
It's a lot of dice.
That's a hit, a miss, and a hit. So the third chamber, which is the web, fails, but the first, second, and fourth hits, which is 3, 4, 5 points of damage.
Okay. That is.
This is as the bullets just rip into this. The bullets, you know, in quotes.
Yeah. So yeah, that is this Wolfen is toast with that unloading. Why don't you describe how this thing goes down?
Yeah, it was Marielle, just leaps up and scrambles away to some distance, and then just pulls the trigger as fast as she can. Stumbling back up against the kitchen counter, in the process, and catching herself with her free hand before she falls. The ghost bullets come across and just blow holes into this thing, which nevertheless rears up, all teeth and claws, misshapen, with blood and ichor dripping from its jaws, and it reaches up as if to rip out the throat of anyone nearby, and then the strength goes out of it all at once, and it collapses and thrashes about on the kitchen floor, scoring its claws, scoring big grooves in the planking of the thing as it desperately and futilely tries to get to Mallory, who has managed just to scramble out of reach, but he can't muster the strength up to injure her before it expires. It emits just this horrible, piteous yowling as it does something across between shrieks and howls, which are just chill the blood.
And Boyce, obviously not a combat action, but tell us how you know there are other wolfen coming to your location right now.
Coming from outside because of the gunfire?
I'll let you decide where they're coming from.
Awesome. I think I've always loved the couple of times I've seen the person moving above older places sat idle, and you see just a little bit of dust trickle through from above through the floorboards kind of thing. And we hear a couple creaks, and then they explode into action from above. And then maybe we hear a crash through one of the windows as they.
Okay, awesome. So I think that's a great place to take.
Marielle, recommend reloading.
Marielle is reflexly is praying over, has the thing open and is praying over the chambers of the gun.
Cool, you're reloading. Awesome.
Okay.
What happens next?
I was just going to say that's a good time to take a break, right? Is this cliffhanger as the wolfen come in? So
awesome.
We say 5 minutes. Is that okay?
Sounds good.
Or yeah, okay. So yeah, I don't want to start a new combat round because that's shortchanging people. So Brandon, I guess you are doing your quick reload. Sorry, you did your move and then you did your attack. So I think you don't have an extra action to reload yet.
No, if these are these are combat rounds are happening one on top of the other.
Yeah. So Boyce, you are going at the end of the initiative order. So what is it
That's
that you're
me.
gonna, yeah. So what are you gonna do?
If I see somebody to deal with, I will be snapping off my brand new, never before seen energy bolt.
Okay, awesome. Are you boosting it?
I have to. I really gotta.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So mark 2 points of corruption. You should be starting at 0, I think.
You're right. I should be. So I'll mark that up to 2.
Yeah.
And I roll a D.
You're rolling a D6 to cast it. You're boosting it, so you're rolling 2d6.
Right.
But you have an advance that makes it a D8.
A D8, yeah. Which is your boon, right?
D8 and D6 then, right?
Yeah. Yep.
I got a 5.
There
Got
you
to
go.
roll on 2 dice.
So no Bane, because your highest die is not higher than, or is not lower than your corruption.
Right. No Bane. Nice.
So you're fine. So it's 3 damage per hit, which is awesome.
Yeah.
That means if you roll both 4 pluses, you're like toasting this wolfen. Awesome.
Not a toast, but 3.
Yeah. Why don't you describe what this looks like?
He has to sacrifice that ace of diamonds that he was rubbing the corner off of as he flings it out, and he's been rubbing it with a bit of the wolfsbane. He flings it out, and the diamond actually arches into this little lightning bolt, and it's short, but size doesn't matter. It hits the wolfen right in the chest, and we smell a little bit of burn.
So is this like going like out the window to the one that's kind of crawling in, or is this the one that's kind of coming through the
window?
ceiling?
Because I see it actually goes through the window, right? Because it's light.
Awesome. Okay, so yeah, that surprises the hell out of that wolfen. But it's time for initiative. You're back to rolling just a single die versus these guys 7. So that is definitely.
I do not go first this time.
Okay. That's a 4 on D4, Rich. That's pretty good. You might be going first.
We'll see.
Going first of the Slayers. I mean.
They're all still alive. I'm still happy.
Wow. Okay, so the 2 Wolfen are going, then Boyce, then Mallory, then Marielle. Okay, so I guess these guys are back out at near range, so they're both going to do that pounce. And I think the one you've just fried is jumping at Boyce, and then this one is coming through the ceiling and landing right on top of Marielle. So let me. For one, and then the other. No, they are as shockingly bad at rolling as you are.
Well, they couldn't really see us.
Yeah, I think
They were kind of pouncing at us at noises.
Yeah, but they are right on top of you, but not literally on top of you. They're just in engaged range. And I think the one that kind of comes through the window at Boyce, I think there's still maybe a crackle from one of those diamonds. Maybe the deuce of diamonds has a little bit of crackle in it, and it gives it a moment's pause, right? And maybe its jaws are coming in and your card was like right in front of your face, and it kind of like swerves or like thinks better of chomping down in that 2 of lightning. And I think the guy who comes through the ceiling, obviously like a blind attack, I don't think we can expect it to land perfectly, but yeah, like there's plaster and wood all over the place, and it's just like snarling itself to its feet right in your face. Boyce, why don't you your turn again.
Wow, I'm going so fast. I'm impressed with myself. I'm pushing this again. I'm boosting this roll. And there's so many of these guys that I really feel like I'm going to have to choose a target.
So I think we only have 2, right? I'm not piling in a full pack on you.
Okay.
Or maybe 3 Wolfen is usually enough for anything except 3 Slingers.
I mean, 3 Wolfen sounds like a pretty good thing. I am going to boost it. So
okay.
I think I've got a couple energy bolts coming again.
Okay.
I
just boosting your corruption to 4.
Yeah. At this point, he like picks through the deck real quick, grabs a joker and flings it out, and the joker kind of flames into this bluish energy bolt as he hits with both. So that should take care of somebody.
That definitely takes care of this guy.
And both are higher than my corruption, so no banes yet, but it's about time for a bane.
Yeah, you are still okay. So yeah, this guy is again obliterated. 6 damage. He had 4 left, so definitely.
Yeah, I think it hits him like a mule kick and sends him back off a porch. Maybe did he make it through the window?
Yeah, I think he made it up to you, right?
Like he comes crashing through the window, boom, boom, he's hit by the energy bolt and sit flying back through it again. Maybe slams into one of the posts that's holding up the awning.
Okay. In the front. And like maybe the second one just comes out of the sky and like slams him into the ground to wipe him out. Finish him in classic Mortal Kombat. Awesome. And Mallory, you're next. You're not quite engaged, but you're kind of up close and personal to these guys. They're definitely within swiping distance of you.
So they're still engaged range.
They're still engaged range for you.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna move then. Out into one of the other surrounding rooms that I have a bit more space to shoot.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna open fire.
Okay.
We just have the one left at the moment.
There's
right?
one left. Yeah, the other one is out of the house, and a pool of lightning on the lawn.
All right, let's shoot him. And I missed.
Okay. So like where do you move back to? Where's your kind of perch that you draw a bead on?
We were in the kitchen, right?
Yeah.
So I imagine moving back into the living room, over by the stairs. And yeah, just as it is scuffling with Marielle, just missing the shot.
Okay.
Stupid wolves.
And Marielle, you got two chambers left in your gun.
But I'm too close to fire, as I understand. So you basically get 2 actions.
Yeah, 2 actions.
Hmm. So yeah, I'm going to get out of engaged range with it. I'm going to I'm going to go out through the whole building.
Okay.
Yeah, the dead one may. And I'm gonna thump 2 rounds. I'm going to.
Okay. Yeah.
So bless the gun twice, and hope that one doesn't immediately spot me, so that I can.
Okay. So you're shooting chambers 5 and 6, right? And then you're at empty, I think.
Yes. They both.
Two misses.
They both fly overhead as the thing dodges with the
Yeah, which is holding up the side this turn. Okay, so yeah, round 3. Some more initiative, I think, is required. I guess this is hope. Hope someone gets to hit them before they, or before it gets Boyce.
I did get the 7. Do I go before it?
If you get a 7, yes, you go
On a tie?
before it.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I got a 6. That's the best I can do.
I think
So,
I can
yeah.
help you with that.
Make your shot.
If it's still alive. Let's see how this goes. I miss again.
Oh wow, what this is like.
Man,
I mean, Mallory missing once seems unusual, but twice in a row.
two twos.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna use my analyze quick action then to wait, what does that do? Yeah. Wait. Oh, I don't think that does what I thought it did.
You're doing the speed.
Or the advantage.
Yeah, well, I was looking at the speed one. I was going to try and get Marielle to go before
Yeah,
the wolf dev, but I don't. It's worded so strange. I don't think that's what it does.
So this is a question I need to ask, because basically both of these phrases mean exactly the same thing to my way of thinking, or at least it's a double effect for the same thing. which is fine because it speeds you up, but it slows them down, which can help your fellow slayers too. But yeah, it's up to you which of those you want to do right now.
Yeah, since that one seems useless. Oh, I see. There is an advance that does what I was thinking. Oh, okay. So yeah, I'll just give Marielle advantage on her next attack.
Okay, cool. So time for the Wolfman to go, and I think it's the only person within range is Boyce. Everyone else has scuttled off to shoot from the countertops.
Yes, they're so smart to get out of the way.
Yeah, I mean, you were too busy, beating up the other one. But I think this one is going to bite you, which is 2d6. 2 attacks, 6 each. And 1 hits. And that is 1 damage per hit. So
That's
yeah,
it? Okay.
one damage. So yeah, take a hit point. So yeah, I think it turns at you, and maybe from behind, as you are kind of maybe chortling over its fallen brother, and it bites into you from behind. Maybe it needs a good run at you to bite through that leather waistcoat.
There we go.
Okay. And then I guess we have I cannot see the initiative. I think
I got 6.
well, you have 4. You're rolling. Yeah.
Sorry?
You got a 4.
What?
My initiative roll was a 6, if you were asking.
Do you roll 2 dice and add them together? Is that right?
Why does it say that I rolled 2 dice? Right, don't I roll them?
Okay.
Okay.
There's 2 dice there, so.
Okay, well, okay, I must have done something.
Yeah. So we got a 4 from both Boyce and Marielle, if that looks right. Who thinks they're going to be going first against
Go ahead,
this?
I
Marielle.
think so. Duck! I yell, and I empty my gun. I do a quick load and empty the gun into it.
Okay, so your quick load gives you 2 shots, right?
And I had 2 shots in the gun, so I have 4.
I thought you had emptied it the last time.
No, I had ended up with 2 rounds.
Okay.
Okay, so here we go. 1, 2, and 4 hit again, and that's 3, 4, 5 points damage.
Okay. I don't know why you're rolling 8 dice.
Because I was given advantage. Do I only do that with?
That was my quick action.
Yeah.
Do I only
Sorry.
do that with the one? With the one?
Yeah, I think that counts as for the whole attack. Yeah.
Okay. Well, even if it doesn't,
Yeah.
the advantage, if you look at it, did nothing.
Oh, okay. I see. It's pretty much the same result for both dice for each.
They're strikingly even rolls.
Yeah.
So 3 bullets as it rears up above Boyce, 3 bullets slam into it. Hollow point does 3, the other 2 do 1.
Well, the tar is the one that didn't hit, right?
Yes, that's right.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah. So what does that look like? How does it react?
I think the tar hits. It just snaps it. It's so strong and misshapen that it just doesn't find a purchase. The gun, sufficiently close that it's almost like stabs of flame coming out of the gun. And in fact, I think it burst into flame.
The gun or the wolfen?
No, the wolfen, the wolfen that catches on fire. It doesn't have any extra effect. It's just a cool visual. Its fur
Yeah.
is set ablaze by the gunfire. It howls terribly and tries to claw at the area where it's done. It's very badly hurt, but it's not out.
So Boyce, how are you going to finish it?
We're down just the one for right now, right?
And it's hurting, but still in a position to tear your throat out.
Yeah, I think I've got a. I think I'm gonna hex it because I'm pretty scared of getting bitten right now.
I mean, the other thing is to remember is
Mhm.
like your corruption is reset to 0 at the end of combat. So if
Yeah,
you
so I could okay, if I can take this thing down, then okay, then yeah, I think I'll go with the trusty old energy bolt. I was trying to get too clever for my own good, probably. And I think I'm not going to boost it because I'm. What happens when I get six corruption?
7 is your max, but so if you boost it, you'll go to 6.
Oh well,
Yeah.
Then I'll boost it. Oh, it's 2 hits.
Okay.
So I'm off my back foot at this point. The thing is charged in on us. It moves the table that we set up, and with those gnashing teeth, it got me before I fling out a 2 and a 10 of spades, and they both energy bolt slam into the thing. We smell the sulfur coming out of it, and it's Bane time, right? It's Bane time. Let's see. 4 and a 6. I guess I roll another d6 for the Bane.
Yeah, so you roll 2 dice and then you pick which
I roll
effect.
2 dice because of my because I have the
because of your
bargain thing. Here we go. Both 6, so I will choose the 6. Oh,
damage
crap.
equal to corruption. Wow.
That hurt a lot.
Wow.
Equal.
Yeah, so that's 6 damage.
I think I just fall down.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to ask you, like 6 is on the verge of like going bad, right? I was going to ask you like what that looks like.
I think when he grabs both the 2 and the 10 of spades, that we see the spade appear, and it just runs up his veins, and we see all these black veins along the side of his face, and maybe his eyes blacken out for a bit, and he's out. It knocked him on his ass.
And do we think that the others might see something that gives them pause?
Oh, Marielle, you definitely get a very uncomfortable feeling. You are in the presence of something not good at all.
Yeah. Marielle snarls, and rushes over to Boyce and takes her crucifix out and puts it on his breast and says, "Not now, not now, you don't. God damn it. God preserve." She didn't say God damn it. She says, "God, by the blessing, you are not being taken yet."
And Mallory, like, what do you see in Boyce that kind of reminds you of those kind of demon haunted dreams you have?
Ooh. Yeah, I think the idea of eyes going black feels very familiar. I think the whatever the circumstances were for what happened in Mallory's past that she blames herself for, she sees the victims of it, and they all have their eyes blackened like that.
Okay, awesome. So that is the end of this pack of Wolfen. I think as things quieten down and maybe as you kind of tend to Boyce in his kind of frazzled state, the three surviving Ketterlings climb out of the cellar. One of them, though, looks pretty badly wounded, and I think might need some proper care and attention to either save their life or save them from turning into a wolfen as well. Yeah, so it might be worth taking a wagon for this wounded Ketterling and Boyce to go back into town.
Boyce, there's a moment there where you think Marielle must have like put some holy water on you. And then you realize that, and then you see her wipe her eyes and realize that she's been crying. And that a couple of drops splashed on your forehead.
Oh, I'm not dead yet. Don't need those last tries. Thank you.
I know.
Okay.
This is the first. We'll talk about it later. Let's get back to town.
Yeah, that sounds good.
What's
You did really well. That was amazing.
Thank you. I always appreciate positive feedback,
I wonder what's Mallory's kind of reaction in this aftermath, where not one but three wolfen tried to kill her and her fellow slayers.
Yeah, she I think is kind of crouches down to look at them in greater up close while they're not trying to kill her. Just kind of like opening the jaw and looking inside, and it's just like, where do things like this come from?
I don't know. The stories say that some of them used to be wolves that ate the flesh of someone with a curse. But then I think they passed that on by the victim is bitten but not killed. Sometimes they take the curse, but it's all stories. I don't know what's true. Boyce probably knows more. Talk to you when he's feeling better.
I do a lot more. You'll have to get me liquored up to talk about it.
We'll do that. I've never seen them again since since my husband was killed.
We need to get that kid back to somebody who can heal.
Yeah. Yes. let me wash out that bite on your arm. These things tend to fester.
Yeah.
I wouldn't drink this stuff, but it makes pretty good antiseptic. She says she produces a flask of dubious whiskey.
So yeah, I guess it's maybe the two kind of whole and hearty Ketterling stay here, maybe to bury their kin and to do the necessary. And I guess they trust the people who saved them are going to look after this kind of teenage boy who's been badly mauled.
We will do our best, but you should come into town as soon as you can. Just in case.
So yeah, I think I'd like to see a little bit of a kind of a slow road trip vignette from people, on the wagon riding back. Casual but not too casual. What as I think Boyce will be slowly kind of recovering and maybe needing a bit of bed rest before the next sleigh outing. Any details you want to add, or kind of small vignettes you want to draw for his witch?
I think there's a point when Mallory is close enough to, because Boyce is on a wagon. We mentioned a wagon. I don't think he's riding a horse anytime right now. He's not riding a horse for a few days. You all right, Mallory? This one seemed to touch you a little bit.
Yeah, just you've got to wonder, right? What happens if we hadn't come along? What happens if we hadn't found the other two upstairs? Things like that just go on causing more problems for people,
Sure, that's what you're wondering. You gave me a look.
Look?
Oh, maybe it was just in my head.
Do you ever feel like we have a responsibility to the wilderness out here, to the people that try and make their lives?
Farmers.
Anybody?
Feel like it's a duty. Yeah. Feel like it's a thing we ought to do and ought to get paid for.
Certainly ought to get paid for a tough job well done. Just places that, small settlements like these that got no one else looking out for them. Seems like more people should be doing more,
A little hard to recruit folks to do what we do.
Yeah, I suppose it is.
We're not normal. But I hope that we exist in part so that other people can be.
Yeah, I like that. Heard you refer to yourself earlier as a flaming sword.
best image I can. If I'm right, and he looks down on what I do and gives me grace. If I'm wrong, I'm just a woman with vengeance in her heart who cannot lay it down.
Mallory.
But I hope for more. I know that he exists because I have felt his presence, and I have also seen the adversary.
Mallory kind of looks towards the wagon. She says, I realize today I ain't seen many of the things I'm sure you've seen, but don't need to be anyone else looking to know that we made a difference today.
Yes. You have an eye to see that no one else does. Perhaps that is, I'm not sure if that's a curse or a blessing. Our friend is as he is in the hold of the enemy. But I pray that he has the strength to fight him off for a good while. What I saw today terrifies me.
Thought you'd seen Wolfen before.
Once. They were frightening. The only time I saw Wolfen before was seeing them tear apart my husband while I hid among the rocks and prayed that they didn't find me. I was helpless. I'm not helpless anymore. It was shocking to see him again. But what terrified me was seeing that glimpse of evil and how close it came to taking voice.
I will eventually, but not today.
Not today.
Not today.
Okay, I think that's a good place to wrap, unless anyone has anything else to add.
No, that was good.
Yeah, okay. I'll stop the recording and then we'll do some stars and wishes.